Scorpio, August 12th, 2026. And I need you to hear me when I say this because the message that came through for you today, I have been reading the cards for 25 years and I have never, not once, seen a spread unfold with this kind of raw, trembling, world-shifting energy. Something you have been waiting for, something you whispered about in the dark, something you almost stopped believing in, it is no longer waiting, it is moving. It is rushing toward you right now like a river that has finally broken through the dam. And here is the twist that made my hands shake while I laid these cards down. The very thing you thought was lost, the very door you believed had closed forever, was never locked, it was sealed from the other side. And someone, something, force far greater than your doubt, is unsealing it as you listen to these words. So before we go deeper, tell me in the comments, where in the world are you hearing this right now? And if something in your chest just tightened, if your spirit just leaned forward, tap that like button, share this with one soul who needs it, because what comes next, Scorpio, is not small, not even close. Scorpio, my dear, my fierce, my beautifully intense Scorpio, breathe with me for a moment, just breathe. Because the cosmos has pressed its lips to your forehead this morning and whispered a single thunderous sentence into your soul, and that sentence is this: it is done. The waiting is done, the silence is breaking. The long, aching, hollow stretch of nights where you stared at the ceiling and wondered if the universe had simply forgotten your name, that season is closing. August 12th, 2026 is the hinge. It is the door swinging open, and what walks through it carries your name on its breath. I know how tired you are. I know the weight of the waiting. You have been carrying a quiet, heavy question in your chest for weeks now, maybe even months. Will it come? Will it change? Will I finally be free of this and the doubt? Oh, the doubt has been cruel to you, Scorpio. It whispered that you were foolish for still hoping. It told you that what you desire is not meant for you, that perhaps you missed your window, that perhaps the ship has sailed and you are standing on the shore waving at nothing. And that voice, that cold little voice, it made you question your own intuition, your own worthiness, your own right to ask for more. I see you. I see how hard you have been trying, and I need you to hear this with every cell in your body. You did not miss your window. You are not too late. You were being prepared. You were being hollowed out so that what is coming can fill you completely. The delay was not denial. The silence was not absence. It was gestation. Something sacred was forming in the unseen, and it needed time. And now? Now it is ready to be born. There is something deeper here, Scorpio. Something the cards revealed with such force that I had to pause and steady my hands. The tower appeared, but not as destruction. No, the tower appeared as liberation. The old structure, the old story, the identity you built around suffering, around endurance, around being the one who always waits, who always holds, who always sacrifices. That structure is cracking, and you are not losing yourself in the collapse. You are being released from a cage you forgot you were living inches. The tower is not your enemy today. It is your midwife. It is breaking open the shell so that the truest version of you, the one who does not apologize, the one who does not shrink, the one who finally says, I deserve this, that version is emerging. Right now, in this very hour, the wheel of fortune sits beneath the tower in this spread, and it is turning, Scorpio. Can you feel it, that subtle shift in the air around you this week? That sense that the gears of your life, rusted and stuck for so long, are finally catching and rotating. The wheel does not ask your permission. It turns because the cosmos has decreed that your season of stagnation is over. And with it comes the Empress, draped in abundance, crowned in quiet power, looking directly at you and saying, Child, I have been saving this for you. I have been growing it in secret. And it is ripe now. It is ready for your hands. Now, before I go further, I want to gently remind you with all the love in my spirit that this reading is a general channel, a broad river of guidance flowing toward many souls who carry the energy of Scorpio. Take what resonates. Let the words that light up inside you be your truth. Leave the rest like water off stone. You are the final authority of your own becoming. But that is not all. Later in this reading, we are going to walk together through your love, your finances, your work, your health, your family, your energy, and the specific messages the cards hold for students and seekers among you. We are going to look at the three signs who are walking closest to your flame right now, and we are going to close with a blessing that I want you to carry like a lantern through the rest of your week. So stay with me. This is not the kind of reading you half listen to. This is the kind that finds the exact bruise you have been hiding and presses gently, tenderly, until the healing begins. And Scorpio, if this message is already touching something deep in you, if your heart is beating a little faster, If you felt that pull in your solar plexus when I said the waiting is done, I would be so honored if you tapped that like button right now. Not for me, for yourself, as a small act of saying, yes, I received this. Yes, I am open. Yes, I believe it is possible for me. And if you have not subscribed, consider joining this family so that you never miss the message the universe is sending specifically to you. You deserve to hear it every single day. Now, your sacred numbers for today: 7, 14, 29, 43, and 61. These are not random, Scorpio. 7 is the number of spiritual completion, the seventh seal breaking, the final truth revealed. 14 carries the energy of balance restored after a long imbalance. 29 is the number of endings that birth beginnings. 43 speaks of hidden support, of an angel working behind the scenes on your behalf. And 61 is the number of homecoming, of the soul returning to where it was always meant to be. Write them down. Whisper them before you sleep. If you see them appearing on clocks, on receipts, in phone numbers, in license plates, do not ignore them. That is confirmation. That is the universe tapping you on the shoulder and saying, yes, this is real. Keep going. And your color today, Scorpio, is deep crimson red, not the red of anger, not the red of warning, the red of the first rose that blooms after winter, the red of the heart remembering its own rhythm, the red of blood that still flows, still carries life, still refuses to stop. Wear it if you can. A thread on your wrist, a stone in your pocket, a candle lit in your room tonight. Let the color remind you that you are alive, that you are powerful, that the fire in you was never extinguished. It was only banked, waiting for the wind to rise. And the wind, Scorpio? The wind is rising now, Scorpio. I want you to settle into this next part with your whole body. Unclench your jaw, drop your shoulders. Let your hands rest open in your lap, palms up, as if you are already receiving. Because what I am about to share with you is not just guidance. It is permission. Permission you have been waiting for, perhaps without even knowing you needed it. Permission to stop punishing yourself for wanting more. Permission to stop calling your ambition selfish. Permission to stop apologizing for the depth of your feelings, the intensity of your needs, the vastness of your hunger for a life that actually feels like yours. You have spent so long being told, directly or indirectly, that you are too much, too intense, too private, too demanding, too emotional, and somewhere along the way you believed it. You folded yourself smaller. You dimmed your own light so others would not feel uncomfortable. You swallowed your words to keep the peace. And I need you to hear me clearly, Scorpio. That era is over. The cosmos is not asking you to shrink anymore. The cosmos is asking you to expand, to take up the space you were always meant to occupy, to speak the truth that has been burning a hole in your chest, to want without shame, to receive without guilt. You are not too much. You were simply surrounded by those who were not enough, and that distinction changes everything. There is a patience the universe is asking of you now, but it is not the patience of passivity. It is not the patience of sitting still and hoping. No, this is the patience of the farmer who has already planted the seed, who has already watered the soil, who has already trusted the sun. The seed is in the ground, Scorpio. You did your part. You spoke the words, you sent the message, you applied for the thing, you walked away from what was harming you, you set the boundary, you chose yourself. And now the patience is simply this: trusting that the roots are growing in the dark where you cannot see them. Trusting that just because nothing has broken the surface yet does not mean nothing is happening. Beneath the soil, in the unseen, in the sacred dark, your life is rearranging itself around the answer you have been praying for. And it will break the surface. Not if, when. And when it does, you will look back at this waiting and you will understand why it was necessary. You will see that the delay was protection, that the silence was strategy, that the universe was not ignoring you. It was building something worthy of the woman, the man, the soul that you are becoming. And your intuition, Scorpio? Oh, your intuition is the sharpest blade in the zodiac, and right now it is humming. You have been feeling things before they happen. You have been knowing things without evidence. You have been sensing the shift in a room before anyone speaks. Do not second guess that. Do not let logic talk you out of what your spirit already knows. If something feels off, it is off. If something feels like a yes before your mind can explain why, trust it. If a name pops into your thoughts out of nowhere, if a song plays and the lyrics feel directed at you, if a stranger says a sentence that lands in your chest like a key in a lock, that is not coincidence. That is the veil thinning. That is your guides pressing close. That is the universe using every available channel to say, I am here. I am speaking. You do not have to figure this out alone. You never did, but here is where I need you to be gentle with yourself. And this is the turn, Scorpio, the tender turn. Because in the middle of all this becoming, in the middle of all this expansion, there may be a moment where the old doubt creeps back inches where you think, who am I to receive this? Who am I to finally be happy? What if it is taken away? What if I ruin it? And I want you to meet that thought not with anger but with compassion. That thought is the echo of an old wound. It is the child in you who was once told they did not deserve, who once reached for love and was met with absence, who once celebrated and was met with silence. That child is still inside you, and they are afraid. And that is okay, you do not have to silence them. You simply have to hold their hand and say, I know you are scared. But I am the adult now, and I am telling you, it is safe to want, it is safe to receive, it is safe to be seen. You will not be punished for your joy, not this time. Not anymore. What happens next in this reading is important, Scorpio, because we are going to go deeper into the cards, and the cards are not being gentle today. They are being honest, they are being specific, and they are laying out a path that is so clear, so illuminated, that I believe you will feel the fog in your mind begin to lift as you listen. The High Priestess appears in your spiritual position, and she is veiled, she is silent. She is seated between two pillars of black and white, of known and unknown, of past and future. And she is telling you that the answer you keep seeking outside of yourself, in other people's words, in signs, in validation, the answer is already inside you. You already know what to do. You already know which path is yours. The High Priestess does not give you new information. She reminds you of what your soul already holds. She says, stop asking the world for permission to be who you already are. The scroll is in your lap. The knowledge is in your bones. You are not lost. You never were, you simply forgot. Beside her, the Ace of Cups overflows. And this is emotional new beginning, Scorpio. This is a love, feeling, creative impulse. A spiritual opening that arrives like water into a dry riverbed. It does not trickle, it floods. And it will feel overwhelming at first because you have been dry for so long that abundance feels almost frightening. But let it flood. Let it fill every crack, every dry place, every empty chamber of your heart. You have earned this overflow. You have earned the feeling of being full. And beneath them both, the Ten of Wands is burning away. The Ten of Wands, the card of carrying too much of burden, of I will do it all myself, of no one will help me so I will carry this mountain alone. That card is in the fire. It is dissolving. The weight you have been dragging is not yours to carry into the next season. Set it down. You are allowed to set it down. You are allowed to say, I cannot do this alone anymore. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to ask for help. You are allowed to put the mountain down and simply breathe. The star follows, distant but luminous, and she whispers to you, Scorpio, that after the tower, after the breaking, after the flood, there is a quiet, there is a stillness. There is a night where you look up and the sky is so vast and so gentle that you finally feel held by something larger than your painches. That night is coming. Maybe it is tonight, maybe it is this week, but it is coming. And in that stillness, you will remember that you are not your suffering. You are not your history. You are not the worst thing that happened to you. You are the one who survived it. And survival is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of the one where you thrive. But that is not all, Scorpio. Because the spiritual awakening we just spoke of, the shedding of the old skin, the dropping of the heavy burdens, it doesn't just stay in the ether. It doesn't just float around in your mind as a nice, comforting idea. It has to land. It has to anchor into your physical body, into your daily routine, into the very cells that make up your vessel. And this brings us to your health, your physical energy, and the profound, quiet shift happening within your nervous system right now. You have been running on adrenaline for so long that you forgot what it feels like to simply run on peace. Scorpio, your body has been keeping the score. Every time you swallowed your truth to keep the peace, every time you pushed through sheer exhaustion to meet a demand, every time you absorbed the emotional chaos of the people around you, your body stored it. You might be feeling a strange, heavy fatigue lately, an ache in your limbs, or perhaps a sudden, overwhelming need to sleep more than usual. Do not fight this. Do not medicate it with caffeine and guilt. This is not a sickness, this is a system reboot. Your body is finally feeling safe enough to process the backlog of stress you've been carrying for years. Let it rest, let it heal. Drink the water. Take the long, silent bath. Walk in nature without your phone. Your physical vessel is preparing to hold a much higher frequency of energy, and it needs you to be incredibly gentle with it during this upgrade. And as your body heals, your external world begins to reorganize itself around your new frequency. The universe is also showing a massive, undeniable shift in your work and career sector. For the longest time, you have been the one doing the heavy lifting. You have been the reliable one, the one who fixes the messes, the one who stays late, the one who ensures the ship doesn't sink while others sleep. But there is something deeper here. The cosmos is asking you to step out of the engine room and onto the bridge. You are no longer meant to just execute, you are meant to direct. The Emperor energy is rising within you, asking you to claim your authority. I know there has been frustration. I know you have looked around at colleagues or peers who seem to get the recognition, the promotions, the easy breaks, while you are left grinding in the shadows. It has felt unfair. It has felt like your intensity and your dedication are being taken for granted. And here is the tender turn, Scorpio. You may have started to believe that you just have to work twice as hard to get half as far. But hear me when I say this. The universe was keeping you in the shadows to protect you until you were ready for the spotlight. The visibility that is coming your way now requires the unshakable diamond-hard foundation you have been building in the dark. You are about to be seen, not just for what you can do, but for the visionary that you are. A leadership opportunity, a chance to speak your truth, moment where your unique perspective solves a problem no one else could see. It is approaching. Do not shrink when it arrives. And for those of you who are currently in the waiting room of employment, who are sending out resumes into the void and hearing nothing but silence, the silence is breaking. The job that is coming is not just a paycheck. It is an alignment. It is a place where your depth is valued, not feared. Stop trying to force doors open that were never meant for you. The right door is going to open so smoothly, so effortlessly, you will wonder why you ever struggled with the others. What happens next is important, because this shift in your career directly feeds into your finances. Money, for you, Scorpio, has often been tied to control, to survival, to a deep-seated fear of not having enough to protect yourself and your loved ones. You have held onto it tightly, or you have watched it slip through your fingers in unpredictable ways, leaving you with a quiet, humming anxiety in the back of your mind. But the energy around your wealth is shifting from survival to abundance. There is a financial blessing making its way to you. It might come as an unexpected refund, a bonus, a new stream of income, or the sudden clearing of a debt that has been weighing on your chest. But more importantly, your relationship with money is healing. You are releasing the scarcity mindset that told you there is never enough. You are realizing that you are a magnet for resources when you are aligned with your purpose. The universe wants you to be wealthy, Scorpio, not just in spirit, but in the physical realm. It wants you to have the resources to create, to heal, to help others, to live without the low-level hum of financial dread. Breathe into that. Let the tension around your bank account dissolve. You do not have to struggle to deserve prosperity. The flow is returning, and it is returning in torrents. You are moving from the energy of the hunted to the energy of the sovereign. You are no longer chasing, you are attracting. And as this magnetic pull strengthens, it begins to affect the most intimate areas of your life. The connections you share with others, the love you give, and the love you finally allow yourself to receive. Because when a Scorpio finally feels secure in their own power, the way they love changes everything. And speaking of love, Scorpio, I need you to open your heart for this next part, because the cards surrounding your love life are not whispering. They are singing. They are vibrating with a frequency so raw, so honest, so deeply Scorpio that I had to pause and press my hand to my chest before I could speak them aloud. Whether you are in a partnership that has weathered storms, or you are walking alone and wondering if your person is even real, this message is for you, and it is specific, and it is tender. And it is going to touch the exact place in your chest that has been quietly aching. For those of you in a relationship, the energy here is one of unveiling. The Two of Cups appears, but it appears after a period of silence between you. Maybe there has been distance. Maybe there has been a wall built, brick by brick, from small misunderstandings, from swallowed words, from nights where you lay beside each other, but felt miles apart. You may have started to wonder if the fire was dying. You may have started to rehearse the grief of letting go in the back of your mind. But Scorpio, the fire is not dying. The fire was banking. It was pulling inward, gathering heat beneath the ash, waiting for the right moment to reignite. And that moment is now. A conversation is coming, not a fight, not an accusation. A true, vulnerable, soul-bearing conversation, where one of you finally says what has been unsaid. And instead of the argument you fear, what follows is relief. What follows is the softening of a jaw, the reaching of a hand, the quiet tears of two people remembering why they chose each other. The truth is not going to destroy your bond. The truth is going to save it. Let the words come. Let the mask fall. Your person is waiting for the real you, not the guarded version. Give them the real you, they will hold it gently. I promise you they will hold it gently. But that is not all. For those of you who are single, who have been navigating the modern world of love with a guarded heart, who have been swiping and meeting and smiling while quietly thinking, is this all there is? Listen to me. The universe has been keeping them away from you, not as punishment, as protection. You have been so focused on finding love that you did not realize the universe was filtering out every person who would have dimmed your light, every person who would have asked you to be smaller, every person who would have mistaken your intensity for drama. They were removed, they were redirected, and now the path is clearing. The Knight of Cups rides toward you, and this is not fleeting romance. This is someone who sees your depth and does not flinch. Someone who meets your silence with patience, your storm with steady hands, your loyalty with a devotion that matches your own. They are not perfect, but they are willing, and they are closer than you think. You will feel them before you see them. A shift in your energy, a sudden lightness, a sense that the room just changed. Pay attention to who enters your life in the coming weeks. Pay attention to who makes you feel safe enough to be soft. That is your sign. There is something deeper here, Scorpio, and it touches the oldest wound you carry. Family, the family you were born into, or the family you chose, or the family you are still trying to build. The Six of Cups appears in this position, and it speaks of an old wound, an old pattern, a story that has been passed down through blood and bone. A silence between siblings, a disappointment from a parent, a feeling of being the black sheep, the one who feels too much, the one who is always too intense for the room. And the healing here is not about changing them. It is about releasing the expectation that they will finally see you the way you need to be seen. The healing is you looking at that old family wound and saying, I love you, but I do not belong to this story anymore. I forgive you, not because you deserve it, but because I deserve to put this down. And Scorpio, the moment you release that expectation, something shifts in the family dynamic. A phone call comes. An apology arrives, clumsy but real. Or perhaps the distance becomes peaceful instead of painful. Either way, you are free. The chain is broken. You do not have to carry their unhealed wounds into your future. What happens next is important, because all of this, the love, the family, the career, the money, it all converges into your energy, your emotional tone, the frequency you walk through the world with, and right now, your energy is in a state of profound clearing. Think of it like the sky after a violent storm. The clouds are still there, gray and heavy at the edges, but the rain has stopped. The wind has died. And there is this moment, this sacred, breathless moment where the air smells different, where the light hits the wet ground and everything looks new. That is where you are, Scorpio. You are in the after-rain, the storm of the past few months, the grief, the pressure, the transformation. It is passing, and what remains is clarity, a quiet, fierce, unshakable clarity. You will find yourself caring less about things that used to consume you. Opinions that once kept you awake at night will simply slide off you. You will look at old triggers and feel nothing but a distant, gentle pity. This is not numbness. This is freedom. This is your soul finally having enough space to breathe. And in that breath, you will feel something you may not have felt in a very long time. Joy, not the loud, performative joy that you show the world. Not the smile you paste on to reassure others. Real joy, the quiet kind. The kind that blooms in your chest when you see the morning light hit the kitchen counter. The kind that rises when a song plays and you dance alone in your room for no reason. The kind that whispers, I am alive, and that is enough. Let it come, Scorpio. Do not analyze it. Do not ask what it means. Do not look over your shoulder waiting for the other shoe to drop. There is no other shoe, there is just this. Just the light, just the breath, just the quiet, sacred joy of being here, being whole, being finally, irrevocably yourself. But that is not all, Scorpio. Because as your heart opens and your physical vessel heals, your mind, your brilliant, piercing, relentless mind is also undergoing a profound alchemy. For those of you who are students, who are studying for exams, who are trying to master a new skill, or who are simply trying to learn the deep, complex lessons this life is teaching you, I see the mental fog you have been battling. You have been trying to read the same page 3 times, trying to hold on to information that slips through your fingers like dry sand. Your mind has been so busy processing the emotional undercurrents of your life, so busy keeping the peace and managing the energies of everyone around you, that there was no room left for your own focus. But the universe is also showing a massive, undeniable shift in your intellectual sector. The hermit steps forward in your spread, holding his lantern high against the dark. The fog is lifting. The distraction is ending. A period of deep, unbroken, laser-like focus is descending upon you like a quiet blanket. When you sit down to study now, when you sit down to learn, you will find that the information doesn't just enter your mind. It anchors into your soul. You are moving from simple memorization to true unshakable mastery. Trust your intellect again. It has not failed you. It was just waiting for your heart to settle so it could finally do its work. There is something deeper here, Scorpio, regarding the souls who are walking beside you during this massive transition. You are not meant to walk this path entirely alone, even though your deepest nature is to retreat into your cave, pull the shadows around you, and figure it all out in the dark. The cosmos is highlighting three specific zodiac energies that are acting as vital anchors for you right now. Pay close attention to the Cancer in your life. They are holding the emotional space for you, offering a safe, quiet harbor where you do not have to explain your intensity. They simply feel it with you, matching your depths without asking you to swim to the surface. Then, look to the Capricorn. They are the grounding wire to your lightning. When your visions for the future feel too vast, too overwhelming, or too impossible, the Capricorn energy helps you build the actual physical staircase to get there. They remind you that your dreams can have walls and a roof. And finally, the Pisces. The Pisces is connecting with your spirit, reminding you of the magic, the mysticism, the unseen forces that are fighting for you in the shadows. If you have these signs in your life, lean on them. If you do not, look for their energy in the world around you, in the strangers who smile at you, in the friends who text you at the exact right moment. The universe is sending you helpers, Scorpio. Let them help. What happens next is important, because I need to address a sudden, subtle shift that might happen in your chest right about now. As you hear all these promises, the returning love, the flowing money, the rising career, the mental clarity, the deep focus, there might be a tiny, quiet voice in the back of your mind that whispers, "This is too good, this is too much. What if I can't handle it? What if I drop it all? What if the moment I finally relax, the universe takes it away?" That is the emotional turn, my dear Scorpio. That is the old survival mechanism, trying to protect you from the terrifying vulnerability of joy. It is easier to carry a heavy burden that you know than to hold a beautiful, fragile blessing that you are still learning how to carry. Your nervous system is so used to the chaos, so used to the waiting, so used to the fight that peace feels suspicious. Breathe through that fear. You are not going to drop it. You have spent a lifetime building the spiritual muscle required to hold this abundance. You are ready. You have always been ready. The universe does not hand you a blessing that your soul does not have the architecture to sustain. Peace is not a trick. It is your new baseline. Later in this reading, in our final moments together, we are going to seal all of this energy. We are going to lock it in with a closing blessing that I want you to carry like a shield and a lantern for the rest of your week. But before we get there, I want you to just sit with the magnitude of what is happening. August 12th, 2026, the day the dam broke, the day the wheel turned, the day you finally allowed yourself to be the protagonist of your own beautiful, unfolding story. You are stepping into a season of being deeply, unapologetically empowered. You are moving from a state of anxious waiting into a state of profound hope and absolute protection. The guards are at the gates, Scorpio. Nothing harmful is getting through to you right now. You are shielded, you are guided. You are so incredibly loved by the cosmos, and the cosmos is rearranging the stars just to see you smile. And so, Scorpio, we arrive at the threshold, the final doorway of this reading. And I want you to take a slow, deep breath before we step through it together. Because what I am about to speak over you is not just words. It is a sealing. It is a locking in of every promise the cards have shown you today. It is the universe pressing its thumb to your forehead and saying, "This is yours. This is your season." And no force, no fear, no old memory, no whispered doubt can take it from you. What was spoken today is written in the stars, and the stars do not lie. They do not forget. They do not change their minds. You are moving forward, Scorpio, and you are moving forward with the full, unshakable backing of the cosmos. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for pressing play. Thank you for letting these words find you in the quiet of your day, in the stillness of your room. in the sacred space between your thoughts where only truth can enter. Thank you for trusting this channel, for trusting this message, for trusting that the universe had something specific to say to you on this ordinary Tuesday that is, in truth, anything but ordinary. You showed up, you opened your heart, you allowed yourself to receive, and that, Scorpio, is an act of courage, because receiving is so much harder than giving. Receiving requires you to lower your armor. Receiving requires you to believe you are worthy of what is being offered. And you did it. You let the words inches in, that means the healing has already begun. The shift has already happened. The old timeline has already collapsed, and you are standing in the new one, even if your eyes have not yet adjusted to the light. Now, I must remind you, as I always do, with all the tenderness and honesty in my spirit. This reading is a lantern, not a map. It is guidance, not a sentence. The cards show the energy, the current, the wind at your back, but you are the one who walks the path. You are the one who chooses how to step, where to look, when to rest, when to run. You are not bound by what was spoken here. You are not trapped in a fixed fate. You are the author of your own becoming, and the universe is simply whispering suggestions from the margins. Take what resonates. Hold the words that made your chest tighten, that made your eyes sting, that made your soul lean forward and whisper, "Yes, that is me." Keep those words like smooth stones in your pocket. Carry them through your week. Touch them when you feel doubt creeping inches. But leave the rest. Let the words that did not land drift away like smoke on the wind. You are the final authority of your own life. You always have been. You always will be. And if this message found you at the exact moment you needed it, if it touched the bruise you have been hiding, if it whispered the reassurance you have been begging the universe for, I would be so deeply honored if you tapped that like button one more time, not as a transaction, as a prayer, as a small sacred act of saying, I believe this is possible for me, I receive this, I am open. And if you have not yet subscribed, I invite you to join this family. Come back tomorrow, come back every day, because the universe speaks every single morning, and you deserve to hear its voice. You deserve to be reminded daily that you are not forgotten, that you are not lost, that you are being held even in the silence, even in the waiting, even in the dark. So here is my blessing for you, Scorpio. Receive it. Let it wash over you like warm water. Let it sink into your bones. You are protected. You are surrounded by unseen hands, by guides, by ancestors, by forces of light that will not let you fall. You can exhale, you can rest. You do not have to carry the world anymore. You are empowered. The power you have been searching for outside of yourself has been inside you all along, coiled and quiet, waiting for you to remember. It is awake now. Walk with it. Speak with it. Let it color your voice and steady your hands. You are hopeful, not foolishly hopeful, not blindly hopeful, deeply, fiercely, unshakably hopeful, because you have seen the cards. You have heard the message, you know what is coming, and hope is not a wish anymore. It is a certainty dressed in patience. You are motivated, not by fear, not by desperation, by the quiet, burning knowledge that your life is about to change, and you are ready to meet that change with open hands and an open heart. You are loved by the cosmos, by your guides, by the people who see you truly, and most importantly, by yourself. The war you have been waging against your own worthiness is over. You have won, you have always been worthy. You simply forgot, and now you remember. Go forward, Scorpio. Walk into the rest of this day, into the rest of this week, into the rest of this month with your head high and your heart soft. Wear the crimson, whisper the numbers, light the candle. Let the world see the fire that has been burning inside you all along. You are not too much. You are exactly enough. You are exactly what this world needs. And the universe is so proud of you for still being here, for still trying, for still hoping, for still loving, even when it hurt, even when it was hard, even when the night felt endless. You made it through. And now the dawn is yours. Go in peace, go in power. Go in the absolute, unshakable knowledge that you are held. I love you, I am proud of you, and I will see you tomorrow. Blessings, light, and infinite clarity, Scorpio always.